Donald Trump, who did a fantastic job on John Dickerson. He was great. It was great. It was fantastic. Ho Chi Minh, great guy. Communist Trump. John Dickerson was on, Donald Trump was on John Dickerson's, I believe, John Dickerson's ABC.
He is CBS.
Oh, he's CBS. Excuse me. I was on John Dickerson's CBS Sunday morning program this past weekend, and he was in for a real grilling, as you can imagine. Sure. He was asked about why he's retweeting white supremacists, and he was asked about why he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about, and he was asked what his official psychiatric diagnosis was. Is it as a delusional narcissist or a grandiose narcissist? No, he actually wasn't asked any of those questions, but he was asked to give his definition of a conservative. And as you could imagine, Donald Trump gave a fantastic answer. It was terrific. It was great. It was great. It was good. Let's listen.
What's your definition of conservative?
Well, I think it's a person that doesn't want to take overly risk. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a person that wants to, in terms of government I'm talking about, a person that wants to conserve, a person that wants to, in a financial sense, balance budgets, a person that feels strongly about the military, and I feel very strongly about the military. And, you know, you have some of these people, they don't even want to focus on the military. Our military is falling apart. I feel very, and I always have felt very, very strongly about the military. By the way, if you look at vision, when you look at the word vision, I was the one that said, take the oil. I've been saying that for years. And I said, take the oil, let's take the oil. And nobody would listen. Then all of a sudden, after Paris, they started saying, maybe that's right, we'll take the oil. They still don't do it the proper way.
You mean from
and,
ISIS?
You know, I was, which is a little bit different than a normal conservative, but I was very much opposed to the war in Iraq. A lot of these guys were all for the war in Iraq. Look what that's got us. We spent $2 trillion. We lost thousands of lives. We have nothing. We're now handing Iraq over, just handing it over to Iran. Iran is going to take over Iraq. And I said that was going to happen. I said that years ago, at 2003, 2004, that Iran will take over Iraq with the largest oil reserves in the world. And that's not a conservative position. When I was, you know, saying don't go into Iraq, I'm a very militaristic person. I'm very much into the military, and we'll build our military bigger, better, stronger than ever before. But, and that's safe. That's actually the cheapest thing to do as opposed to what we have right now. But I was opposed to the war in Iraq. Most conservatives were, let's go gung-ho. I mean, these guys, just about all of them, every one of them wanted the war in Iraq. Look what it got us.
Brilliant. Brilliant, nailed it, fantastic, it was great. What I like about Donald Trump, and I actually have to do a callback to Ben Carson here, is you see the contrasting like styles of like kids who have not done their reading. So Ben Carson's style is he does the really slow and like, well, it's so interesting you ask what a conservative is because de Tocqueville would say that it was really in the nature of America. And if I can lull my professor into you're getting very sleepy and you are going to give me an A, it sounds as if I know what I'm talking about. Trump does the opposite. Trump is like, oh, well, conservative, you ask. Well, conservative is a rather important tradition of American conservatism. That is through which the values that we hold are robust.
It's important to conserve.
It's important to conserve, but it's also important to deserve. And I do both conserve and deserve, but you got to be offensive because if you're not offensive, then you're playing defense. And from an American perspective, defense is a loser thing. Offense is a winner thing. Being conservative is a winner. And I got to tell you, these guys, they're not winners. That's the best part. Then it loops back to like, and these other people are fucking idiots. It's great. I am disgusted with myself by how much I kind of like this guy. It's really disturbing. Like, I absolutely am at would party with Trump now.
You know what's funny is
because when I used to see pictures of like Wu-Tang or something hanging out with Trump, I'd be like, that's so tacky. Like, what are you doing? This guy's ridiculous. And now he's running for president, and it's like even worse. This is a bloated, narcissistic bigot but god damn, he's amusing.
But
Jeez.
and his answer for conservative, I don't think it's that much more far flown than the National. We could play this National Review sound if we want to.
Yeah.
So this is Rich Lowry on Left, Right, and Center last week, and he was asked a question. I can't remember who's hosting it. It's not Josh Barrow who usually hosts.
Okay.
But he was asked what the conservative movement needs to learn from Trump.
Okay, let's hear Rich Lowry say what Donald Trump says in a much more boring way.
Was very much anti-Trump. I have not had a chance to look at the magazine, but in it, do you begin to try and lay out what is a coherent
This is, I believe,
conservative
Katrina
ideology
Vanderhoof
for
from
these
The Nation.
times? Or is that a project that will come later?
The editorial board is divided on who they like. We know we're opposed to Trump.
Kind of like the party.
And we've consistently,
Yeah.
the things we think can be learned from Trump is, one, to take immigration more seriously and take it seriously as an economic issue, and also to develop a working class economics that addresses some of these discontents in a much more responsible way. And we've been banging on that one for several years with limited success, unfortunately.
I'm sorry, I dozed off during that. I didn't quite catch that, but it sounded to me like, oh, well, we don't like Donald Trump. We have some quibbles with him. But the main point that he has brought forward with racial conspiracy theories about immigration that are completely unfactually found, we will build off from that.
And
I also don't like Mexican people either. But I'll say that in a really boring way. You ready for this? They're coming over here and they're bringing sexual assaults. And I'm sure some of them are very nice people. Jesus Christ.
It's why that National Review cover will have no effect, because they don't actually say anything. No,
it's just brand resentment.
The lesson is
It's just that he doesn't need to kiss your ass and get your validation. And that's all it is. All of these people that are reacting to him, it's because he's not working up the food chain. He's not going to the local bosses and kissing their ring. He's not kissing their ring.
He's going to blow the game, though, because they need immigration to take the flak for low wages. And if they had any sense, they would say, actually, people aren't coming over here in droves and taking all the jobs. That's not why you're economically insecure. But they can't do that. So they have to put Glenn Beck on the cover and stuff like that.
Well, also because he's an intellectual.